I've used the advising tool this quarter for our students, and it really streamlined our group advising and our interaction with the students. What makes me excited about the new system is I can go to one place and have the doorway to all the different online services for OU.
I think the biggest benefit for me of the new system is having everything in one central place. I can see my student stars, I can see when they register, I can see if they have a hold, which is the first time I've been able to do that, to say to a student, hey, do you know you have a hold? You're not going to be able to register on time unless you take care of that.
There's a lot of features about it I really like. I like being able to see everything about my advisee at one time. I like to be able to see the information about holds. That's already been helpful to me. Is when an advisee calls and says, I can't register what's going on, I thought you released me, and I can go and take a look and say, well, you have a hold.
In the absence of the registration access code, which is affectionately referred to as the RAC, we are now using the Advising Center to keep track of which students have met with their advisors and which students haven't.
I love that if they go into the portal, they can see their account information, they can see if there's holds, they can see what those holds are. A couple of my students have said they really like the little reminder screen that says, have your parents turned in their financial aid forms yet, or, other kinds of reminders that are useful to them.
Historically, all the services were available, but you always had to know how to get there, and it was always several steps away. It's really nice to just log in once, and then you can access everything you need to access.
I also like the way that students are registering for classes now. I think that I like the shopping cart idea. That they can register for their courses. They can put in all the ones they want in advance, and then the day that they register, they just have to hit submit.
One of my favorite features is the sort, that I can sort just my seniors, or I could sort just my sophomores and send just those students an email and not have to go out of the system and then come back in to do that.
I can expand the list and see 150 at a time or whatever. So I found that to be very user-friendly.
One of the things that I love as an administrator that's also an advisor is the new advisor page you can download into an Excel spreadsheet.
But what I really like too is that being able to download an Excel file, create my own advising files, be able to take notes. I mean, all of those are things that I used to sort of do, or I could have done before, but it was, it just took a lot of time, a lot of data entry and everything else. More efficient on my part in terms of just being able to track that advisee, so that I have a file, have my advising file for this quarter. I can look and see, well, what happened with that student? What did we decide? And I can keep track of all of that in a much more efficient way.
Only complaint I have, and I don't know that it's really a complaint, but I'd like more features, integrating everything into one place.
If I had my druthers, there would be sort of one master access code that could go in and view, change, and modify the admission decisions, whether all the file's complete, and then have 4 additional view-only access codes.
I'd love to be able to take notes and attach it to the student's file so that if we have any issue or there's a miscommunication, I can go back and refer to it and say, hey, you forgot to take this, or you didn't take this.
If there are any struggles, it's that the institution is going through a number of significant changes right now. It seems like every time we turn around, there's a major change. We moved to on-base from paper files. Even the voicemail system changed.
It seems that it is being rushed and then inevitably being delayed. And then the people that you were used to going to in the offices around campus to say, well, I'd like this piece of information, are now down at Rufus and nobody knows when they're coming back. And it seems that if they had said, we're going to roll this out over a slower period of time, and we're going to be careful and deliberate about how we roll this out, not promising that things will be out when they won't be out, that there would be a perception of a smoother, more reasoned process.
Over the last several years, I've had the ability to interface with IT on several levels, and to me it seems very clear that 1, there's a very talented bunch of individuals, and 2, with more appropriate resourcing, that the execution of a lot of their initiatives would be a lot smoother and more timely.
I think that a lot of the angst is just change.
It's change, and change is always uncomfortable for people, especially when most faculty members only deal with any of these systems once a quarter.
It's a lot of change, and so change is always a little bit of a challenge. So I haven't really heard a lot of complaints.
I've had little feedback, which is a very good thing. It is a good thing because you typically only hear negative feedback. We have a lot going on, especially this happening towards the end of the quarter, and the fact that did not hear anything means it came off very smoothly.
Well, I haven't had any problems at all. I've been surprised at how intuitive it is, and I'm to the point where I can barely remember what the old system was like, and that to me is always a good sign.
You know, we're in a transition period and more functions are coming and this will keep getting easier, and look at all the great information you have access to that you didn't used to see. I mean, we'd see it as advisors, but they never saw.
Over the next couple of years, it'll be a pretty transparent process. It'll be second nature. Even the transition was pretty mild for us.
I've probably finished up my registration in probably 10 minutes, and usually it's a lot longer than that. At least in the old system, it was a solid half-hour ordeal. So it was a lot quicker, more efficient, I would say.
And it's helped me cut down on the time that it takes to advise because I'm not clicking through a bunch of windows. I'm not trying to pull up their paper information from the office and their files. So it's really kind of streamlined the process for me.
You know, advising is an important part of your job, and we really haven't had the kind of tools we've needed for advising. I mean, advising hasn't been supported in the same way other things have been supported. And so in some ways, having this kind of a tool really gives you gives you a better sense that the institution values advising and is willing to give you a tool like this where you can get all this information about your advisees. I think just the fact that we have that tool really does highlight, I think, advising as an important function.
Overall, I think it's really getting there. I think it's really helped me be able to advise better.